Deep breath, and here we go. What's up, guys and gals? Now, basic introduction here to this video and probably the next one. So, you have most likely seen the two videos now on the engine. There is another one coming on that, but that's in the near future. Anyway, just a little bit of an explanation. So, I started working on this engine, getting it ready to go in. My plan was to get it in by the end of March. It is actually now beginning of April. However, it's not a bad thing necessarily, because while I was prepping the engine compartment and everything, I realised that there are some tasks in there that will be easier to carry out before I put the engine in. One of them, there's brake lines in there, the drive shafts, other bits and pieces. So, this video and most likely the next one, it's just a series of jobs that I'm doing before I put the engine in. So, I am a little bit all over the place. Obviously you can see brake drums sitting there. I am a little bit all over the place because I'm just trying to get as much done before the engine goes in, just to make my life a little bit easier. So yeah, this video and probably the next one, I'm bouncing around a bit. So it is shot over about a 2 to 3 week period, concurrently with me assembling the engine, testing it and all of that. So, without further ado, let's just get into the video. So, we are back on this. Now, just to put this into context, I'm actually shooting this between putting the engine and transmission in. I've already got them done, they're ready just to go together, but I just had a bit of a realisation yesterday. There are certain areas of the van, such as the brakes, because I need to do all the brake lines and everything on this, but they're easier to get to before I put the engine and transmission in. So this first part of this video is going to be just basically dismantling the braking system. I took a few bits off the back while I was under there. Basically, it's the rear pipes, the rear flexible pipes and the T-piece. I took that off yesterday, but this morning I'm going to just strip the rest of it down. Well, isn't this interesting? I've actually been moving this around under its own steam now for ages, and come out this morning and this disc seems to be completely frozen. Huh. Oh well. You never figure these things. I mean, the amount of times this van has been pushed up and down this driveway, and it's rolled without any issue whatsoever, and now it doesn't want to. Classic vehicles, you gotta love them. WWII, are you serious? That bracket there for that brake line is perfectly positioned so you cannot get a socket straight onto that bolt. Now that is just ridiculous. You can't tell me an engineer did not see this back in the day and think to himself, let's just take that corner off. At least it's not a modern car, you know. God damn. Don't get me started on modern cars. Okay, so got the brake line off. It actually doesn't look that bad. To be honest, it doesn't look like it's been on for that long either. But yeah, I think it's just advisable to replace it. Also, shocks come off. Took the shock off. Again, it's actually in pretty decent shape. The bushing's shot on it, but the actual truck itself's in decent shape. But again, you know, look how much rust is in the body. I mean, that thing's probably going to blow out after a few miles, so again, I need to get it replaced. But everything else under here is, I mean, it's rusty. There's no doubt about it, but everything else under here is actually in really decent shape. But anyway, let's see if we can get this frigging caliper off. The only thing I can think of, yeah, the other day I was sitting inside and I put my foot on the brake and I pressed the brake pedal, and I wonder if I've pushed the pads out just enough to lock this wheel up. Yeah. Anyway, let's see if we can get this thing off. Little bit of a tool tip here. This is not a sponsored thing or anything like that. It's just my thoughts on it. But if you're ever out at swap meet or whatever, and you see somebody selling these really long wrenches, grab a set, because they are invaluable. I mean, just the leverage I can get on here. This is that bolt you can't get a socket into, and I really need to get a bit of muscle onto it. And these long wrenches are just phenomenal for anything like this. It's this brand is US Pro, which I'm assuming is probably just a Chinese brand, but they work well, you know, they do work very well indeed. Well, damn, look at those pads. There's some meat on them. I bet these things, you know what, I bet this front end's been done just before this came off the road, you know. But these are, and I know these have sat there for getting on for 20 years, so they absolutely need to be replaced. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can actually get this caliper to free up. What I might do is I might just grab a gallon of diesel, stick it in a tub, and just stick these calipers in to soak for a few days. But otherwise, this front end, this side's all stripped down. I just cut the pipe there. I'm not even worried about that. That's just going to get just straight up new pipe in. But interesting. Although one thing, if you notice, the inside one has been wearing more than the outside. I wonder if the outside is seized, because these are 2-piston calipers. It's not like the sliding vane ones that we've got today on a lot of newer vehicles. Well, I'm saying newer vehicles, and basically the 80s onwards. This is basically, you do have 2 individual pistons, and squeezing, and nothing on the body of the caliper itself moves. So, yeah. I'm not, but there's no harm in looking. Nah, still think, nah, I don't like it. I want to keep the rims in the traditional style. I don't know if I've mentioned this or not, but what I'm seriously considering, because these rims are in a bad way, they're not, I mean, they're rusted. There's a couple of spots where, this one in particular, I thought it was just the tyre, because it keeps losing air, and it's not. On the back side of the rim, there is actually a couple of spots where the air actually comes through the rim itself. So these rims are shot. But I've been looking at the 16-inch Mercedes ones, and very similar styling, same bolt pattern and everything, and that's the size tyre that it would have on. Now obviously this is up in the air, so the suspension is extended, but I think a 16-inch tyre on this, with this style of rim, it's gonna look really good. I'll also, you can buy the little clips to fit the VW hubcaps as well to them. So yeah, anyway, let's move on and get this other side done. Interesting, different rim on this side. I've never noticed that before. The other one's hub centric, this one's lug centric or stud centric. Anyway, just somebody asked me online a few months back, why I had not done anything to protect the tyres from getting paint on them. Well, quite simple. Just the age of the tyres. These are just very, very old tyres. I mean, they're in good condition. Actually in very, very good condition, but they're just too old. Realistically, you don't want to be running anything at this age on a vehicle if you can avoid it. I mean, obviously there are some classics out there that you just can't get tyres for anymore. But you run the risk of these basically coming apart at speed. So obviously, I mean, these aren't fast vehicles. I'm not going to be tearing down the freeway at 85, but still. Plus, these, I mean, this one's not too bad, but these tyres, one of the other ones, I forget which one it is now, it's got like half the rim as weight. So yeah, they don't balance very well, and you know, for a few £100 you can put a reasonable, decent set of tyres on one of these. So you know, that's why I'm not using these. These are just simply there for rollers. But yeah, I think this rim has been replaced. It is. I wonder if this is a little T4 rim or something, because I think they fit, aren't they? I think it was the T5s when they went to a different lug pattern. But anyway, I'm going to get on. So, this has had one of those things going on that I really, really don't like. And that is replacing parts on one side only. And I've gotten a really good close look at this brake line. It's obvious this is much, much older than the one that's on the passenger side. But this shock absorber looks way newer. Yeah, I don't like doing that. You know, if you're gonna, because 9 times out of 10, if something's failed on one side of the vehicle, it's probably not far off heading out on the other side. So why not just bite the bullet and replace both sides? And I know a lot of people say, well, you know, it costs money, but especially if you're actually having to pay somebody to do the work like happened with this, it can often be cheaper just to do both sides in one go than it is to have them come back and then do the other side at a later date. But that's the wiring harness hanging there, by the way. I've got it unclipped at the minute because I want to paint under there and I don't want to paint all the harness. But yeah, anyway, back to what I was saying. I'm really not a fan of just replacing something on one side. It is a false economy, and yeah, I do get it. There are going to be times when people are just so strapped for cash that's all they can afford to do to keep a vehicle running. But if you can avoid it, just do both sides. So I was just putting the tyre back on, and I did notice the date code there. So if you look carefully there, it's 12/01, so that's December 2001. So say 2002, it's 2026 now, so these are still 24-year-old tyres, and I just don't want to risk them. I know they're 8-ply. I mean, these are quite a heavy tyre. I think they're quite a bit of overkill for this. I don't think these required 8-ply, but nevertheless, that's what it's got on. I just noticed there was some mud and snow. But yeah, 26-year-old tyres, they need replaced. It's that simple. Well, just examining these calipers here, I've just realised there is a chunk missing out of this one. I have a feeling these are probably going to be scrap. I really do. I think, like I said, well, obviously this one, regardless, is going to need replacing. And it looks like, because it's got 2 bleeders on it, it doesn't matter. They're not handed. There's not left and right hand. It'll go either side. What I'm wondering is, I'm wondering if the T25 or T3 rotors, discs and calipers would fit on the T2. That is a question. That is a good question, I think. Because I believe the T3 and T25s respectively were evolutions of this, because they carried I think the earlier ones carried the air-cooled engines and everything over, and I believe some of them got vented discs up front, but I don't know enough about them. So that is a question for anybody that's out there that's in the know. Will T25 or T3 calipers and rotors, discs, fit the T2? Or the late T2B anyway, it's a 74. Okay, so if you can hear me over the jets, yeah, these pipes, I mean, they're still pretty solid, but they have long since passed their best. I am reusing the brass adapter. I've got the other one out of the rear, which has got the new hoses on there. That's ready just to go in. So I'm just going to clean this one up the same, just get a wire brush on it and just give it a bit of a clean, and then it's going to be all new pipe work. There we go, looks a lot better. Got some more of these somewhere. I'll have to have a look around for them, see which ones are in the best condition. Although the threads and everything look fine on this. The exterior, I mean, these things always have looked rough on the exterior. I mean, there's no need to machine it. It's wouldn't serve any purpose, but yeah. Okay, I've had a thought. Bear with me. I've got everything out from under the front of the van now. There was no master cylinder or anything in anyway. That's been gone for a while. But everything's out, and I was going to start doing the pipes, but I mentioned to you earlier that I was wanting to clean it all up, wire brush it all down and paint all the underside. I'm going to do that before I put pipes in. You know, there's no point in undersealing over the top of brake lines and all of that. It's they're all going to be NICOP, the copper nickel lines, so they're not going to rust or anything. So yeah, I think that is the way I need to go. I need to get that painted first before I start putting any new brake lines in under there. Well, it's morning again, and it's a nice morning. It's a bit chilly, but you know, it's not raining. Anyway, brakes. This, I don't know what sequence these videos are going to go out in, because I need something for this, and I don't know if it'll arrive before I get this video finished. So either you've seen this video on the engine or it's coming up. But either way, there's a video on it. Anyway, yeah, I just got packed up on this last night late. It started raining again, because that's what it does. That's been the norm lately. It's been quite nice during the day, then we've gotten rain at the end of the day, so everything was just thrown in here just to get it out of the wet. So first thing I'm going to do this morning is I'm just going to tidy everything up, and then we're going to continue with the brakes. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can do on this, so as per my usual, let's try and keep things rolling along. I'm gonna I might just get them all done today. Let me re-clarify that. I don't actually have I know I'm going to need brake pads, brake shoes. These calipers, I'm probably going to replace them. I've had them soaking for ages. One of them's actually got a chip out of it, which I'm not overly fond of. And I just can't get them to free off. I know, I'm 99% sure the rear slave cylinders are going to be seized up, and I'm assuming that it's just going to need all the internals, so I do not have any of that yet. But I'm going to get all the pipe work and everything put into place, and then when I do get them, hopefully the engine will be running by then, and it'll just be a matter of just connecting everything up at the terminating points, at the calipers and at the rear brakes. So that's the plan for today. Good or bad, that's the plan. So let's make a start. So I've got the flexes basically put into place, and now I'm just making up. These are the shorts that go actually down to the wheel cylinders. Made them a little bit longer, and I'm not actually terminating them yet until I have the wheel cylinders and everything to go in. But this can now just sit down in place, and yeah, it can sit there until I'm ready to do the rest of the braking system. One thing that I do though is I coat all of the ends in copper grease. Basically, it doesn't really benefit me at this point, but me in the future, or somebody else coming to work on this van in the future, if they ever have to crack this nut off, it just makes it a little bit, it gives it a little bit of protection against corrosion and everything. So, but yeah, I'm going to slip under the van and get this one and the other one that's just already laying under there. I'll get them put into place, and then I think I might move up to the front. There's a few bits to do up there. I might actually move up there and start putting in the front pipes. I've still got the long one to go down the whole length of the van. That's still to do. But yeah, I think I'll just move up to the front and start up there first. Get those little bits sorted out. I do have brake pipes for the front now. So yeah. But let me get these put in first anyway. So, just a little bit of investigation here. I think the brakes on this van were done either just before it came off the road or just after it came off the road, because these shoes, they've got no wear in them whatsoever, and feel that, sometimes you get a little texture on them. The texture's still on them. I am going to replace them because I have no idea how long they've been in here, and what can happen with age is the actual material separates, because these are bonded ones. But and I think that cylinder is solid anyway. Plus all the mechanism in there, you can see that's all rusty and all that needs to be replaced. But somebody was doing work on this either before it came off the road or around about when it first came off. Maybe they took it off, started doing the brakes, and then started finding all the rust and other bits and pieces. But you see some of these springs and everything, that one wasn't even connected to anything. I'm not sure there's no... Does this have retainers on? Can't feel a hole back there, but yeah, as you can see, there's no retainers keeping the shoes in place or anything. So you may notice under there yeah, they were the anchors that I were using for the tent. I mean, that's solid post all the way through, and then it's filled with concrete, so I figured it should be good enough to hold the weight of the van. One problem I am facing though is getting this up high enough to slide the engine in. That is, yeah, I'm wondering about that. I might have to have a ride across to the shop, see my buddy Andy, see if I can borrow one of his really big jacks. Because this is good, at the very least I think it's going to have to go up on a set of ramps to get it high enough. But we'll get to that when we come to it. We'll figure that out. But yeah, let's just get the rest of this apart and see what we've got. That is a surprise. It feels gritty and nasty but that is a surprise. I did not expect that. So I was taking the adjuster off, but I've gotten 2 bolts out, and then because it's all seized up, I want to clean it up. But I've just realised that one there, it's not actually a bolt hole, it's a rivet. That's freaking annoying. So yeah, let me see if I can get these adjusters out, because what I wanted to do was run a tap through there. But well, let's see if we can just get them out without actually having to take the rest of it, grind that rivet off. Okay, so that one came out all right. This one is solid, so I'm going to give them a good soak down, get some heat on them, and then just go back and forth with them until he decides to free up. But I'm going to put those two bolts in first, then I don't lose them. So I got it apart. I'm just recutting the threads there, and it's basically just cleaning them up. Of course, it helps if it doesn't pop out of the vise. I need two hands for this, but you get the idea. Okay, there we go. So got some anti-seize on that. I'll clean the rest of this gear up, and then that's it. But a little bit of history. I've had a few people ask me about the vise, and a lot of people think it's actually a vise off a drill press, but it's not. This was made by a friend of my dad's in the machine shop at the Concert Iron Company back in the 1950s, I think. He was nearing retirement when I was a kid, so he went to the steelworks. He went to the steel plant just shortly after the Second World War, and he worked there right up until I think the 70s. But anyway, he was a machinist and he needed a vise, a small vise, and so he made one. And then when I was about 12 or 13, he said, there you go, there's a vise. And it served me well. It's been mounted on pieces of wood like this, and it's just convenient for carrying around the place. It's small, it's lightweight. I mean, the amount of work this thing has done over the decades is just absolutely astonishing. But homemade vise. It's back in the day when people actually did things. Although there are a couple of guys online I've been watching recently on YouTube, and they've been making vises. Hydraulic ones, and I've got to say, if I had a good enough welder, because you need some serious welding power, I would certainly have a go at it. But anyway, let's get some anti-seize on these, and then that's it. That's this side basically done. I'm not doing anything more to it other than like I said, I just wanted to strip it down, get an idea of what was going on with it, and then take it from there. Then we'll come around and we'll get this other side jacked up and do the same over here. Basically, I'm putting together, I'm trying to figure out exactly what I need to finish the brakes off. I know I need front calipers, I know I need pads, I know I need shoes. The discs are actually, there's still plenty of life left in them, and I'm just going to have those skimmed. The drums are actually in pretty decent shape, to be honest. Obviously the outside's all got a coating of rust on them, but actually there's no gouges or anything like that in them, so I can reuse the drums. It's basically just the internals. So yeah, but let me get this finished, then we'll get this side up and we'll rinse and repeat. Okay, there we are then. That's all moves nicely now. So that's about it for this brake. What I'm going to do now while I'm over on this side is I'm going to take this rear shock off, get this out, and then I can just put the wheel back on, and then we'll move to the other side. Oh, I know what I need to do. I still need to release it. I need to take this drive shaft off. I'd forgotten about that. So yeah, I'll get the shock, then the drive shaft, and then we'll move to the other side. Right, that's the other shock off, and this side all now dismantled. I do have stuff on order for this, so this video is going to be spread over about a week or so. I think I've already mentioned it in here in this video, or have I? I'm in the middle of doing the engine. I had to order a couple of bits for it, so I'm kind of on hold with the engine, so I'd moved on to the brakes. So you will see the engine in the background every now and again. Then at some point you might even see the engine in the van before this video ends. But as I usually do, I'm just trying to keep progress moving along. It's the only way you can really do it when you're sitting waiting on stuff. But yeah, I think I mentioned it, but the coil is just, I don't know if you can see it on there, but it is just, coils are just dead. I've got two of them. That one fired a couple of times and then just basically puked its guts everywhere. The other one, there's just nothing out of it at all. Can't even ohm it out. It's just dead. But whatever. While I had the wheel and everything off, I thought, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get this half shaft off as well. This drive shaft. So that is everything here now dismantled. The only thing I've got left is I need to get the automatic adjusters out, and then that's this side complete. Still have to get the half shaft off that side. I do have new joints and everything to go on here, so I will be doing them shortly, but I'm going to get the self adjusters out, get them cleaned up, get them put back in like I did on the other side, then stick the wheel back on, call it good on this side for now, and then move and get the half shaft loosened off the other side. I got 3 bolts out, but 3 of them were being stubborn. These 5 of them were stubborn. One came out easy, the rest of them I've been fighting with. I mean, I started out here at 7 this morning. It's now about 11:15, so it's, yeah, and it's all just been getting those friggin' bolts out. Anyway, yeah, that's where I'm at. I thought, you know what, let's just do this, then I can get back to doing the pipes later. It's all got to be done anyway, so I may as well while I had the wheel off. But yeah, auto adjusters. They're not auto adjusters, are they? The manual adjusters, but you know what I mean. Well, it's now getting on in the day. Move out of the wind because the wind's kicking up a bit, and as you can see, it's had a couple of showers there, but I did get the shafts broke down. I will show you a little bit of that in the next video, but for now I think I'm going to end this one right here. We're just at that point. I know I've got a lot of footage to go through, so yeah. Anyway, that's it for now. Again, I do apologise. This video at the moment is just everywhere. I'm just doing jobs that are going to save me some time later on down the line and just make life a little bit easier. So yeah, there's going to be another video like this, and then I'm assuming we're going to get into putting the engine in. Anyway, I'm tired. That's it for now. Come back and see me sometime and have a good one.